Ladies and gents, welcome back. This is Marcian, or Such Paradoxon, and this is gonna be the final time that we're gonna be seeing this map, as much as I liked Nova Arcana, but it's time to put it to rest, I suppose. So, like I promised, we're gonna do our little thoughts and such video of Nova Arcana. I think I'm gonna make a reoccurring thing with every major CTM map I play, very likely. So I didn't really write the script or anything for this. This is just gonna go as it is, and as things start happening, I'll just kind of make up things as I go, I suppose. I don't really feel like writing a script for this, nor do I feel like it's really necessary, to be honest. Of it being it's just like a 7,000 page long Google Doc, and then just me reading out that. It feels like it's more honest if I just give my opinions and such as I go on with the map. So that's what we're going to be doing. So yeah. So Nova Arcana. In general, just to preface this, I would say that this is Render's best map currently, even with the mechanic of the soul system. Even then, and specifically, I didn't think that was much of an... What the hell is this? Wait, hang on. I think we found a secret, boys, already. This is what you love to see. Yeah, what's this? So, it's like basically this big middle area where you jump down and drop off. What do we have here? Okay, I would just like to point out, complete tangent, but Pick Step, great song by the way. That's a knockback 10 item. If anyone actually finds that like mid-playthrough, I don't know if anyone would be insane enough to come in here, except for the one bit where you can find this thing here, yeah, the sun charm. I don't think anyone else would be really much into looking around here, because like you'd never think that Render would hide something else in here. But okay, tangent over, back to the main topic. So the soul system, I'm gonna be saying this probably quite a lot during the review video, but I was getting massive Hollow Knight vibes from this entire map, just in general, honestly. And I'm not saying that that is a bad thing, because I think it's a really good thing, honestly, because for one, Hollow Knight is a phenomenal game, both design wise and gameplay wise and just everything and all around. But not only did the areas feel very Hollow Knight-esque, if that makes any sense. I look at Verde Passage or the Ritual Grounds, the Burial Grounds. Now Burial Grounds is the thing in Hollow Knight. Ritual Grounds, even just this, I'm getting like a very big Forgotten Crossroads vibe from this for some reason. It's weird, and again, I might be a slight bias there because I have played Hollow Knight very recently. But I think even then, I think it's very clear that Render took a tad bit of inspiration from Hollow Knight in certain areas. And if he hasn't, then I guess it's just a weird coincidence. But in any case, massive Hollow Knight vibes from the entire map in general, mostly in the first quarter / maybe even up to the first half of the map. Later down the line, not so much, but at the beginning, definitely some massive Hollow Knight vibes from this. I mean, the soul mechanic, and I guess I'll just start flying around the silver ruins in the beginning while we talk about the soul mechanic. I think it was a great mechanic, honestly. Little thing to spice up the gameplay. And I remember I saw TJ's final episode of it, and he was talking about how he didn't enjoy the whole concept of it because of his like sort of way that he plays the game. I never really felt that it was such a nuisance. Like, sure, I did have to grind a couple times where I died because of my stupidity, but I never felt that it was Render's fault for designing the map badly. Every single time I think it was completely my fault for not paying enough attention or just being plain stupid, to put it lightly, honestly. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this mechanic in general. I mean, there was that one hiccup when I accidentally broke the map, but then we were able to fix it. But again, that's such a small percentage of thing happening that, again, I wouldn't chalk that down to Render's fault in the slightest. So all in all, I thought the soul mechanic was pretty cool. The spells were pretty neat, although I would have loved if there were more, I guess you can call more of like attack-based spells, not just like here's a healing flask, here's a stronger healing flask, here's a flask that heals but over time. Because like the only attack spells were the fire breath one, and that was it pretty much. And then you got the, and that was it pretty much. So I would have liked if there were a bigger variety of spells to use, but again, that's still not a bad thing in general, that even we got those, but in general I thought the soul mechanic was pretty neat, and it never really felt like a hustle, never really felt annoying, except in certain cases where you were out of sprint and then you had to kill like one more mob to be able to get your sprint back. But even then, I guess that wasn't that big of a deal either, in my opinion, because you could just kill like 1 or 2 mobs and then you have it back, and then that was it. So yeah. So I think all in all, I'd say that the soul mechanic was very good. Like, would I want that in every single render map coming up after this? No, I not necessarily. No, I don't think it would be good if he makes every single map with that in mind. But having a little experimentation is always a good thing, in my opinion, especially if you're looking to spice up your map. And it's always the same, that here's an area, you go through it, and you get the objective, and then you come back. It's always nice when you have a core mechanic built into the map that changes the entire way of how the map is played. I think that's a very fantastic thing in general. So if not that specifically, but any other neat mechanic that Render might come up with later down the line, and knowing how insane that man is, he's probably got something up his sleeve for the next map he does. Or maybe he doesn't, who knows, only time will tell. Alright, well, enough chit chat about the soul mechanic. Let's start looking at intersection 1 and the first area, so Silver Ruins. Silver Ruins was a pretty nice area, both aesthetic wise and difficulty wise. Like, it wasn't that big a deal. You got your classic walk through the bridge, not many mobs, first tree, may or may not be trapped, but it wasn't in the end, that kind of thing. Plenty of resources, plenty of loot around that you can get. And while we're at it, I just like to point out, which is, so did I get this chest? I did get this chest, right? Also, I'd just like to point out, and this is valid for all intersections except for 4 maybe, not as much in 4, but definitely for 1, 2 and 3, is I gotta say the fact how Render was able to put the entire map together with such interconnectedness in its areas. Like, for example, here you have this massive cavern, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas just put in one, and it is weaved together so nicely and so fantastically that I think that's just that feat on its own is remarkable for sure. Because of, like, again, it's just, I don't want to say this again, but like I said, probably gonna be saying this quite a lot, feels very Hollow Knight-esque. I guess. I'm not saying that Hollow Knight was the thing that came up with the idea of having interconnected areas and then you being able to skip certain parts to get to different parts earlier. Like, for example, the best example of that would probably be the thing that I just only learned very recently after finishing the map, is that if you go to Basalt, Ballast, I'm still not sure what that area is supposed to be called. I think it's Ballast, but I digress. Is if you take this pathway here from this area, where you come out from the weird gravel puzzle thing, if you go down this way, then you actually get to intersection 3 earlier on than you would normally do, and then you skip the entire intersection 2, and this is how you get to it if you're not jumping down from the bonus area, which I think is really neat design. Just not having a whole linear, like you go to the starting area, then you get to intersection 1, you do 4 areas or 3 areas, one of them will have a walkway that leads to intersection 2, rinse and repeat, you're done with the map. It's very nice that you can choose multiple pathways of what to take and how to get to certain areas. And again, you could have just, like, for example, you could have easily just, like, if I wanted to and I wasn't stupid, could have just like, oh yeah, that might be the monument there, so how about I just like go down from here, bridge around the side, and now I'm here. It's like the fact that it's so open and still everything is within the same general area. It's got a very nice feel to it, that it's like all built together very neatly, very tightly, that it's meant to be like that. It's not just some areas plopped into one each other, like here. If you go on the left in this intersection, there's a water area. If you go to the front from the intersection, there's a fire area. There's no connectiveness like between them, because there's no need to, because each area is its own separate sub thing. But in this one, everything feels natural, everything feels well put together. It's very cool, I gotta say. It is very, very neat in general. So yeah, let's go left to right then. So Brightwater, the first area of this intersection. Again, very standard. Thank God that usually the meme with the CTM community is that second in the area is the orange rule if you're following the rule order for objectives and you're not using disc or anything else. Then the orange wool has to be a lava themed area, obviously. It would be funny if instead of vor it was lava, but yeah, that's just a side note. But yeah, this area was pretty straightforward. Nothing really spectacular. Although the only issue I have with this one is that myself included, I think a couple other people I've definitely seen play this map have kind of got lost in this section because they had no idea where to go. It's like, yeah, you go around this war a bit, you explore everything. Where do you need to go? Where is the wool? And then sure, there's like a couple mushrooms that suggest that there might be something more here, but it's like maybe if these vines weren't growing here, and maybe if this was a bit more open and not covered up with the overgrowth coming out from it, it might have been a bit more obvious. But again, it wasn't like a huge deal. It's just a personal nitpick of mine that this was kind of hard to find where to go next from here. So then you go into this big overgrown mushroomy bit. Gotta say, loving the little leaves, the leaf blocks that are turned into vines that like go around the entire area. It's really neat. And even from there you get to like, oh, you can take multiple paths. If you go one side, then you get to the bonus area. If you go the other side, you get to another area, which is again completely different than what you've seen before, and then you get to here. And then even here it's like, oh, you can go up or down. What if I go up? Oh, there's a shortcut. Now I'm in the monument. This is the thing I'm talking about. It's just the interconnectedness they can get to one area from another without, so you can skip certain areas to get to specific things, like how I did in my own let's play when I accidentally got here first before I did candlelit, which is the intended way of getting to it, I'd assume, is very cool. But yeah, okay, so in that case I guess let's go backwards then, like I did in the let's play. Let's talk about Candlelit Castle. So Candlelit Castle, again, you gotta have at least one or two fortresses slash castles slash citadels, that kind of stuff. Candlelit Castle is very well built together. For one, it looks fantastic, and I can see why Render uses like sort of like this image, I think, as the map art or whatever you want to call it before opening the map. And you have like the word menu selection like in Minecraft, right? You know what I'm talking about, that thing. Why this is on it? Because it doesn't give out that much spoiler. It looks pleasing to the eye. It just looks good. And then even from here you can see that there's like, oh, there's a thing left on the bottom, or there's a thing on the left, or there's one thing downstairs, there's something that you come from because there's clearly a bridge there, there's this huge castle in front of you. That's like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So it's just, it's eye pleasing, that's what this is. But generally very well built together area, wasn't too difficult. Big fan of the little glass barricades so that the mobs can flood everywhere. Maybe if it wasn't there then it might have been a bit more difficult. These stair traps, can we talk about this, how this is Render's new thing? I forgot if he used these a lot in his previous maps, but boy, sure he was very fond of these traps in this map, that's for sure. But just in general, very cool area, very well designed, some neat traps here and there in the certain towers and all that. It's pretty cool in general. I mean, nothing really else to have. It's a pretty decent bow. Oh yeah, this. So can we just point out the fact that, I don't know how Render did this, but can we just like point out the fact that Render is an actual madman? Putting all this here so that if you go above you can see like a map, quote unquote, of how the area looks. And then there's certain holes that if you go through it's like it opens into it. Can we just talk about how fantastic that is and how much attention to detail this is in general? Because this is insanity. This is what insanity looks like. This is amazing in general how this looks. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's fly back into the cavern and then let's carry on. So we got bright water, we got silverings, we got, okay, ballast, basalt, whatever passage. Again, gotta say this again, and it's gonna be also mentioned quite a bit probably. This is where the whole interconnectedness and areas being weaved into each other perfectly are coming up in this one as well. Because like beforehand I was like, how is that area, where is this area going to be? And if you like come down here, there's a cave here, and from like the side you can always see a couple bright spots that there might be something there. But again, it's hidden so well in general that from the outside you would not be able to tell that there's this extremely intricate cave system built out here with all these weird ruin looking things and then the gravel puzzle and all that shenanigans. It's again very, very cool. Don't know what this is supposed to be, the gravel puzzle. This still confuses me up to this day why this is here, but I mean, I don't mind, it was kind of fun. But best of passage, also very fun area, just in general. So yeah, not much else to say on that regard, unfortunately. And then we have our little other bonus area, or bonus areas rather, because there's 2 of them here. We got the bygone mines, again, very straightforward. Good to get some extra resources. Again, another neat design on the fact that you can see like a couple light sources up at the top, and then from a certain angle you can see that there's like a wooden pathway up at the top, that there might be something there but you don't know how to get to it, so you start being like amazed by it and curious about like, okay, how do I get up there without blocking? There must be like a proper way to get up there, right? Surely, right? And then you start exploring and then you eventually find it. Again, I think it's there's like a saying for this, showing without telling or something along the lines of that. This is like that. It's like, oh, it must be something here though, but it doesn't show that much of what the entire area is. It's just a little teaser. It's like, oh yeah, here, look, if you look from here, there's a thing there. Do you see that thing? You might want to go check out that thing, because that's definitely a thing in there. And again, I think that's good map design right there in general. So yeah, and then the other bonus area is very straightforward, just more ruins down here below. Nothing fancy, just a little dungeon-y thing. Also kind of cool, you get the spells here. Basically one from every bonus area, and that's pretty much it. So I'd say intersection 1, probably my favorite intersection out of all 4 of them, honestly. Just because of how, again, interconnected it feels like. But yeah, I'd say that's probably about it. So let's head down back into Le Verde passage. Also, before we do, can we just talk about how evil this trap is in general, by the way? I'm kind of curious because I've got no idea if that would have worked in that case. Because when I saw this, I was like, yeah, obviously, gotta check. It was another biome, and it isn't. So I'm like, okay. Oops, did not mean to take a screenshot there. Scoop it on there. It's like, oh yeah, it's a bed here. So I wanted to make like a more centralized hub for my base. I was like, oh, let's just take this bed. I wonder if you sleep in it, does that trigger the detector? I'd probably say it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay. And then we go kaboom. So yeah, very mean trap. God, why is that thunder so loud? Jesus Christ. Let me turn that down a bit. 1 second. Weather. There you go. Cease thunder. No one likes you. Well, I kind of do like Minecraft Rain, but not now. So yeah, very mean trap. Very cool trap, and I'm still kind of pissed that I fell for this trap, honestly, because I was so happy about like, oh, I'm smarter him, it's not gonna be another trap, yay, and then you broke the bed, and I broke the bed, and it's like, oh shit, and I go kabloonski. So yeah, not a big fan of that, but neat trap nonetheless. Right, so Verde passage. Again, Hollow Knight-esque area. Not just with the whole design of it feeling like green path all over, but might be like an Easter egg or just, I don't know, but he called these things moss chargers, which was also a thing in Hollow Knight. So again, I mean, maybe conspiracy theory that it is based off of Hollow Knight. I don't know. It maybe isn't, but maybe it is. But does it matter at this point? No, not really. So I'm just gonna keep saying it. That it reminds me of Hollow Knight and be done with it. And speaking of Hollow Knight, there's specifically one area that reminds me very, very much of Hollow Knight, which is this right here, especially in Green Path. There's like a lot of these ruinous circle bits around in Green Path. This feels like literally just grabbed out of Hollow Knight and Minecraftified and just put into here. And again, I don't think that's a bad thing, because this looks phenomenal and it plays very well. So yeah, but Verde passage. If you come here first from up on where the hell is it? From up on there, accidentally, or if you go directly from Brightwater to here, you might get your bum kicked, like I did, because the most chargers do hit like a truck, especially if they gangbang you. So yeah, I do feel that was a bit of a mean thing that put this here and you're like, oh, another area, let's go here, and then you get instantly shreked, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should not be going here just yet. So yeah, but other than that, very cool area with the whole, like, I mean, I'm just gonna, it's just like a clusterfuck basically. It's just like caverns here, caverns there, a lot of little sneaky shortcuts that you might be able to find. Like the first one here, it's like, oh, if you follow like the environmental clues, I guess, it's like, oh, there's water flowing down here, maybe there's something behind it. You dig through the leaves and you're like, oh, it's a whole new cavern system here, I wonder where this one goes. And you go through, it's like, oh, complete different area, where the hell am I now? And I do love the little joke that Render put here, if I can find where it is. That one set of signs that says, had like a directional sign basically, saying, are you lost? Yeah, this one here, are you lost, are you lost? This is a very fun jab at people getting lost in here, honestly, so I do enjoy that quite a bit. But very impressive altogether, all around, very solid area in general. Do love to see that. And from here, I've already forgotten how you get to intersection 2, but it's like somewhere here, isn't it? Yeah, here. So you can come here. There's a little notebook about how eating regular food gives you buff effects. Very cool. You come here and you get to intersection 2. Complete tone shift in general from like the greenery going to like a whole lava-y, more deep cavern-y sort of look, which I do like. Yeah, merchants. Merchant system is phenomenal. The whole currency system with like the amethyst, and you constantly looking around to see if you can find any more amethyst hidden anywhere in the map. It's very cool, and the merchants sold some pretty decent stuff. Like for example, later down the line, the intersection 4 merchants saying like actual netherite stuff. It's pretty good, pretty solid, especially that as far as I know you are unable to manually make netherite gear. You have to buy it from the merchants as well, which is a good incentive to keep collecting amethyst and keep working towards a specific goal to get better equipment, which again, I think it's good design. So yeah. Right, I'm gonna talk about an elephant in the room, which is going to be the fundaments, and I'm just gonna go on ahead and say this, that this is probably my second least favorite area of the entire map, just because I hate mazes to begin with, and invisible mazes are just everything that I hate in general in life, or in video games rather, let me rephrase that. So I was not a big fan of this area. Like I do love the aesthetic of it and how it's designed with like the endless looking corridors, and at first I was actually kind of confused and worried that it's gonna be this whole massive ginormous area that you have to go through. But as you keep moving around, you sort of realize that, oh, most of it, like, say 70% of this area is just for looks, and 30% is actually playable. So that's that. Mob design was pretty good though in here. I did love the little video skeleton guards that had the trail behind them. And I also do kind of love the fact that they were turned back, like this one, where it was gravel instead of actual things. So just like trying to rush around the lava as much as you can, and then every once in a while you find one of these, and then you trigger it, and then you fall down to the lava and you take a swim in the lava soup. Thankfully that didn't happen to me, but very good trap, because you get lulled into a quote-unquote false sense of security with like, oh, most of the ground seems solid enough, it can't be that bad surely. And then you walk around a bit and then you're, oh well, there's a trap there, rip. I'm also kind of curious because I did see this here a long time ago. This gotta be trapped, right? Like there's no way that this resource pocket actually works and exists. So yeah, I figured this would be trapped 100%. So probably if you can probably go to this place as well from the outside bit, because you can enter this area once again, which was the only one thing I liked about this map. That you can come back from the outer bit once again and then enter from the side here to reach a whole new section of the area. Gives it like a little bit of replayability, which was kind of cool in my opinion. But probably how you reach that section there too. But I do wonder if this thing is gonna actually blow if we get too close to it. Well, it's definitely gonna blow for sure. Yeah, it does. Okay, that's what I thought it would happen. Oh my god. That's a lot of TNT, dude. Holy shit. And one amethyst survived. So yeah, I did very much dislike the fact though that at certain parts you had to go under into the lava section, like near the end here, because I don't think there's any other way to get to the disc box other than actually going under. Oh god. Then actually that looks weird as hell from down here. What the okay. But yeah, here you were supposed to head under to get back up and then be able to get to the disc box. There's no other way around doing it, but I do reckon there's some other secrets down here. I mean, there's a diamond boot here, but there's probably a wall in here, so you can't reach it from here. You probably have to go around. No, what the hell is this? It's a duck. It is a duck, indeed. With more tacos. I don't know what's up with that whole taco bit. There's a lot of tacos in general around this map in like very super secret looking areas. I don't know what's that supposed to mean, but yeah. But this little side section here was phenomenal. Coming back here for a second time to get some very solid loot and very solid equipment for those people who actually traversed this area, because it was quite mob infested with very heavy mobs as well, like supercharged creepers, bunch of ghosts and spiders and witches and all that sort of crap. So, oh god. So if you're willing to put more effort into it, then you got some pretty solid loot. But unfortunately, all in all, this is probably my second most disliked area of the entire map, just mainly because of the invisible maze aspect of it, to be fair. Although I don't think this would have worked if it wasn't an invisible maze, or wasn't an invisible maze rather. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it, unfortunately. But like design and aesthetic wise, it was pretty cool. So yeah. Okay, next up, let's have a look at Boomer Boneyard then. Next up on the list. So again, here comes the whole bit of the interconnected areas and everything being so put together nicely in general, and just it just looks good when you look at it. Like you come out from here and you're like, oh my god, there's like, what is that thing? How did you get to it? It's like this thing, and then there's that thing, and there's another thing. You can see those fancy looking crystals, like a bridge above you. There's just so much eye candy around this in this map. It's like wherever you go, it's like, oh look, it's a thing. Oh, but if you look on the left, another thing. It's like, it's insane. It really is. So Boomer Boneyard, very cool idea. Love the little creeper skeletons here. It's very neat. Bringing back these bunnies was an actual nightmare. Holy shit! Never again. Never again. I mean, did love the final dungeon bit of this. If I can find it, yeah. Did get a little bit of a hissing sand vibe from it, except that it wasn't sand or anything along the lines of that. It was just creepers and enderman, if I might add, that would blow up in your face for some unknown reason, and then maybe bring down the ceiling on you with some lava. But very cool little dungeon, honestly. Nice add-on to the entire area in general. And yeah, other than that, not much else to say about Boomer Boneyard, to be fair. So let's move forward to the submarine city / castle area. So this was again render stair trap. Never gets old. Yes, it does. Very neat looking area. Very cool concept of this, like a whole town being submerged in lava and all. Although I wonder how this would have looked normally if it wasn't submerged in lava. Honest, what the hell is this? Oh, it's probably the bridge thingamajig, which is where is it? The bridge. Yeah, there's the bridge shortcut. Yeah, probably something to do with that. But very neat looking area. Very cool concept in general. It's good to run around, explore. Give you a very big sense of danger because you could fall into lava at any moment. Then things falling down on top of your head from like different floors. Also some nice extra danger to the area. Very cool. But I'd say that the better half of this section of the submarines was clearly submarine castle, honestly, because like taking the whole thematic to one higher level and then having this massive amazing looking castle just built here was very cool and very neat. Also special shout out, what the hell is this? Never seen this chest before. Potions medium. Huh. Weird. Okay, well. But yeah, special shout out to these little gas towers. Very cool in general. Added some nice extra flavor and some extra danger to the map of you running around, especially like in the opening bit through the bridge. There's like a lot of them just on the side, and some of them you can't even hit the target block to destroy them, like this one in particular. This one's on the back side and the side of it, so like from this angle from the bridge, there's nothing you can do about it, just in general. Or this one, which I also think has on the back, yeah, same with this one. So the fact that they aren't all equal and some you have to hit from a different angle to destroy them. It's a very neat little extra touch on them to make it a bit more challenging. So that was also very cool. I love how I found the emerald here just by pure coincidence. That was pretty funny. So yeah. Other than that, both Submarine City and Submarine Castle, very cool areas, very good areas too. And while we're here, might as well talk about the little bonus section here, Crash or Crash. Now the only issue I have with this thing is I really would have loved if it wasn't just all fake and some coal and a stick. If it even if it gave out like 1 diamond, I would have been fine with that. Because that is pretty much just a meme and a joke of this section. Like, sure, you got some coal, but you get plenty of that anyway. So even if at least like one of these were real, and you like dig through all of them, you check all the maps, and then one of them was real, would have given you at least for me, would have given me a bit more sense of an accomplishment that yeah, even though Render put up all this bullshit and trollingness, but there's still some rewards and I fought for that. Would have been nice if we actually got something out of this. Not saying that it's not good as it is, but it would have been better in my opinion if it had hydrating. If you got actually any reward from this, not just some coal and a meme stick, but again, it's just personal taste at this point once again, and personal nitpick, but nothing major to be fair. Still a little fun little side area, if you can even call this an area in general. So yeah. And while we're around this section too, let me go quickly and look into the Nether too for probably my favorite meme area in the CTM map so far in general, which is the lands below, or the land down under. I'm not talking about Australia here, boys. I'm talking about the Netherlands. Now this area, again, a massive downscale for difficulty, but on purpose, because it's not supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be a meme in general. Also, these nether pockets, honey pockets, I don't know, that's something like that terms in CTM mapping, when you make like these little pots that mobs can spawn in. I think it's called honey pocket, whatever, I digress. But very cool meme area with like all the staple Dutch things, like the gekoloniseerd meme, the Gouda cheese, the windmills, the tulip fields, all that. It's a very fun, good old cheeky joke in general. I mean, this thing was sort of challenging, but again in a fun way. Didn't really feel like this was that much of an issue and a much difficult of an area. But it was cool nonetheless altogether, so big up for this area too. Special shout out to Stroopwafel Island. Stroopwafels, anyone? Yeah. I do wish that the travel bans were lifted and we can travel on, because I want to go to the Netherlands to pick up some Stroopwafels. My god, I miss Stroopwafels, because the ones they have in Hungary and Lidl are not as authentic as the real ones in the Netherlands. Those ones are so much better. But I digress. Very big I digress with that one. So yeah, all around, very fun area. And you cannot go through those things in Spectator. Yay! Alright, let me poke through here again. Sup, buds? Right, that is out of the way. Is there anything else we haven't talked about in this section too? I mean, again, same, especially in these, because again, these are basically the same two intersections, because 2 and 3 are very much interconnected with one another in general. So everything here just connects into itself, I guess you can say that. Again, just adding to the whole effect of it being just a... what else is this? Yeah, more loot. Combat gear, tools, armor. Nice. But yeah, it's just the same as it was in intersection 1. Everything feels very much interconnected, very much nicely put together, very much intertwined. It's good. It's very good. So let me hop up onto... oh yeah, before I forget, actually I almost forget my favorite bonus area too, which should be here. Yeah, the searing sewers, or sizzling sewers, or whichever it was called. I think it was searing sewers. Yeah, probably the best bonus area in this entire map. Very unique concept, with like you lowering the lava, unlocking more pathways to go through. At first I thought you have to swim in the lava, and I was like, I don't have a fire resistance potion. Unless that lever gives me that, then I'm kind of screwed. But no, it just removes lava. It's a very neat idea, very neat concept. all around probably the best bonus area in the entire map, to be fair, honestly. Like a very well put together mini dungeon with a very unique concept and twist on it. So big up for Searing Sewers, very nice. So yeah, with intersection 2 completed, let us head upstairs to intersection 3 and then carry on from there. So again, you could have gotten here from a myriad of ways. You could have gotten here from the actual proper intersection, or the proper way from intersection 1 to 3, from Ballast Passage, or you could have yeeted yourself down from this other bonus area, the Warp Grove, which again, if we're here, might as well talk about this one too. Very cool. Very big fan of the new nether blocks in general, especially like all the color palette of it, like the very vibrant red and then this like cyanish greenish looking tint to it as well. I think all the nether blocks are fantastic in the update, so in general the two of them contrasting each other looks very nice. So big fan of this area. Again, nothing real spectacular here, just a normal cavern area with some fauna, and not fauna, sorry, flora in it, which looks very good. And then you can yeet yourself down into intersection 3, which I think is how I got here in the first place, because I never found the other way to it. So yeah. So intersection 3, where do we start? Let's start left to right this time. Let's do the crystal, because the other ones are basically inside here, and only the Crystal Gardens is the one that isn't as much inside in general. So let me go to there first. So Crystal Gardens again. Massive Hollow Knight vibes from this for Crystal Peak from Hollow Knight, except that was more like a minor industrialized area. This is just a cool looking cavern with a bunch of crystals and snowfall traps, which Render do be kind of mean for making all these snowfall traps. Yeah, but again, just in general, I like this whole opening section of it. But I was more fan of this area of it in general, this section of it, if you want to call it that. Because at this point was when I had the X from the nether area, and I was feeling very confident and very powerful. Zooming around is like probably from around this section here, once you pass this tower, from like starting here. Just zooming around these little walkways, killing things, running around. For one, it felt really good. For two, you felt really powerful. Like, oh, I can just zoom around, killing shit without anywhere in the world. And then you have this amazing, like, look at this. Doesn't this just looks phenomenal? Because it does. Like the crystal designs, it just everything about this screams that Render put so much effort into his map to make it the best as possible. You can clearly see it. Oh god, what the hell is that sound outside? Jesus Christ. Dude, it's like, it's not Halloween, so if you could stop whatever the hell you're doing outside, that would be great, because Halloween's long gone, man. It's almost Christmas, so stop with the spooky noises outside. Cheers. Holy shit. But yeah, phenomenal area, very good design. Just probably I'd say it's probably one of my favorite areas altogether of the entire map, because of just the aesthetic. Plus I'm very big on crystals and crystalline designs and that kind of stuff, so this is like a personal. I thought that crystal just grew there for a second, holy shit. But very big fan of this, very big fan of crystals in general, so this is especially very cool to me in general. So yeah, Crystal Gardens, probably say favorite area altogether. So yeah, let's head outside here, I suppose. And then while we're here, let's talk about vertical mines. Very fun area. This thing can go to hell, by the way. As much as a meme it was, but it was sort of annoying, but still annoying in like the funny, ridiculous, over the top, what the hell is this Render? Why is this a thing? And why do I enjoy this so much at the same time while being annoyed by it, kind of way. So I thought this area in general was phenomenal, with like how nicely put together it is, like overhanging the town basically, having these very interconnected, intricate walkways connecting with one another, and then you going into the cages, finding out different things in here. Also, there's a specific thing I want to point out if I can find where. Yeah, this. Can we just talk about how cool this looks in general? This design, the chain with the emerald on it. Yeah, can we get some appreciation for this in general? Thank you very much. But yeah, this is a very big area, very cool, very well designed, very lot of places you can go explore with different like platforms and things you can walk around, and a lot of resources to collect in general. So again, all in all, very well designed area, very cool area. And then probably the side award for silliest design in this map goes to the skeletons riding on the minecart randomly all around the entire map. So congratulations for that, I suppose. So yeah, Vertigo Mines. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Okay, next up, Obelisk of Inversion. Now I wanna check something because I'm curious. Remember this trap being here, or this suspicious looking thing, because like the chest wasn't trapped, but there's clearly a block under it that's attached, or not attached, but attracted by gravity. So if I eat this, that falls on this TNT. I mean, again, very big explosion on that one, but yeah, neat little trap. Very cool looking area, very high on the contrast to everything that's in this area. If I look just outside, it's like cave, like creeper, skeletons, city, mine, and then you have this alien looking thing just plonked in the middle of this, in just the middle of it all, with like the chains hanging and then like the lava flowing out and just the vibrant colors, the whole different block palette with the purple blocks and then the sea lanterns. It just, even the inside, it's like just contrast with the purplish, the whitish, the blackish obsidian. It's all very cool. And then if we take a teleport back, or we could just like fly into it if we can find which side is on. Yeah, this one. And then just this thing in general is very neat. All in all, very surreal concept and very weird. Just walk around these like hallways leading into nothingness, and then just you being floating in the middle of nothing with these orbs around and the chains hanging around. It's very cool. It's a very surreal looking area, but I kind of like it. So I'd say probably this is my second favorite area, and the only reason why Crystal Gardens is higher because of the crystals, honestly. But if it wasn't for the crystals, I'd probably say this is my favorite area of the entire map, just of how unique and cool this area looks, especially this section of it. Not so much the main pillar, because it's just the pillar, you're mainly inside the pillar, you don't see much of it on the outside. But just this in general just looks fascinating and fantastic. So I also like the fact of like the little stained glass layers here to darken the thing. It's very cool. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it probably about Obelisk. So with Obelisk being done and out of the way, let us see if we can find, yeah, little side area here. I want to see what the hell happened in here and how was this trapped, because this was trapped. Okay, so I was right, that render trapped lava because there's detector blocks under here. Now I wonder if there is actual, it's like the 3x3 area around it, I think. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I was very much lucky that we used obsidian. The obsidian like took up a lot of the explosion from there, because that was a lot of TNT hidden under there. Jesus Christ, render, what the hell, man. But yeah, very cool trap, and I've been saying the entire playthrough that at some point Render's gonna trap the lava, and lo and behold, he did. So extra points for Render's savviness and trap savviness in this entire map, because there were some really unique and creative traps in this map. One of those being that one right there. So yeah. And with that said, we have found the way to intersection 4, the Noir passage, which was a short little interlude kind of looking area. Also, I don't think I've ever showed this on the Let's Play, but I found this thing here too, which was just over from this side from Vertigo Mines. There's this little ledge here that I saw. If you climb here, there's like a bunch of amethyst and then one emerald block, well not emerald, diamond block that wasn't trapped, thankfully. Probably to make up for that one that was trapped there in fact. So, I don't know. I have a hatred for spider areas in general. I don't know why. But this wasn't as bad, because as bad as another area that we'll go to shortly, which is the biggest offender of my least favorite area of this entire map. But this was a neat little interlude area to lead you into the next section of the map. Nothing real to talk about here, just cool design. Yeah, I mean that's probably it. The spitting spiders were very cool, as much as I hate spiders, but those were pretty neat. Still got no idea how Render did that, but I don't think I want to know, honestly, because that would ruin the magic of it, to be fair, in my opinion. But even then, very neat looking shortcut, or not shortcut, but connecting area to intersection 4. And then we get to the fancy bits of the map, the very fancy looking ones, which is intersection 4, but beforehand the Lonely Dark. So this little bit is, it felt really weird, it felt very, I can't speak English, it felt very tame, I guess is one way to put it, I suppose, with like the block palette being very dull. Just in this one section, that is. Everything else picks up after this, but just this one little bit, it felt very dull to me. I don't know why. It's just, even beforehand you had like the contrast of the gray on the wall. There's a chest here. Ah, just another charm. You had the gray of the wall, but you had the contrast of the dirt or the sand or the concrete powder on the other side, and then the little spider eggs and the spider sacks, which also had some contrast with the white and all that. But then you get to here and it's just a dull grey color, until you get to this bit when you start seeing some other neat things. And then this is the first time when you encounter a render boy for the first time. So yeah, but the only reason why I'm not as a big fan of intersection 4 is just because beforehand everything was so interconnected, and it is still in the sense in this one because everything is in the same main cavern. But it doesn't have that kind of feel to it when you could, like, I could say jump down from Candlelight Castle and then you end up in Brightwater. That's not in here. Which makes sense because you can't do anything because it's a massive open cave with certain sections. But this is the one area that feels like the most that like a normal CTM map, that you have an intersection and then each area is its own little thing without the areas being interactive with each other in a sense, if that makes any sense. Or hopefully it does, because I can't really convey that better than this, unfortunately. But pretty much what I'm saying is, in the previous areas everything is in one and then the areas are separate from each other in a sense, but you could still go from one to one. And I'm making insane hand movements right here from my screen. Good thing you guys can't see that, but I digress. But in this one it's just, you have intersection, go left one area, go front one area, go right one area. In the previous intersections, have one big intersection cave, and then you can go to certain parts, but you could move from in between one another without bridging to everything felt natural and everything felt interconnected. Not so much with this one. Still felt sort of, but again not as much as in the previous one. Although massive shoutouts though to weird mushroom trees, for sure. It's very cool to see tree-like structures or mushroom-like structures not using like your conventional tree materials like leaves and the tree bark and stuff, but using like ice and stained glass and end rods and all that. It looks very, very cool and very, very neat in general. I wonder, is there something up these lava falls? Not in this one, but there's another one that's in the intersection. Maybe there's something there. So yeah, also just in general, Lonely Dark seems like a very cool area. It is a very cool area. I love the fact how it is not void, but again it's just like a sheet of black under. And I also love the fact how Render even put the effort to make these a bit different colors, like it's stone, then it's a bit darker with cyan clay, a bit more darker with this, I think it is light grey, then cyan, then the brown, then the black. So it gives it the feel that it's dark down there, and if you fall down there it might be void, but if you do fall down there it is not. And I do wonder if you jump down here and create it, what happens? Or you just get hunger and speed down. Okay, I was wondering if that gives you like a withering effect when you get down there, but even then it's cool that it's not just straight out a void effect, because never been really a big fan of void areas in general, to be honest. So yeah, cool little trap here with the more fake blocks, and then the little silly tripwire here with the cave spiders. It's very cool. But you get to here and then you start to see Render's fancy building skills. I mean, just look at this thing in general. How cool does this look? And I don't think I actually even noticed that there was a thing here, which appears just to be more diamonds and stuff, but I mean that's not a bad thing. And this is supposed to be another tower that probably got destroyed, but yeah, just some deep lore there for you guys. But again, this looks very cool, very neat of how this all looks in general. with like the whole towering cathedral looking things. Not talking about this cathedral, we'll get to this in a second. But even just this looks phenomenal. Like, you going around there, coming down there, then you have a choice to go that direction or keep going this direction, which leads to a different part of it, which is the actual main area of it where you find the disc. It's also kind of cool that there's a specific room here, which I think it's on this side of the tower, with the soul torches around. Where is that? Is it here? No, where the hell is it? Is it here? No, there was a specific room where it only had soul torches, just for some reason. Was it on this side? I'm honestly not sure now, to be fair. I remember because I took my thumbnail from there. Or maybe it's on this, or was this one, wasn't it? Yeah, this one. This thing here looks fantastic. Just this view from here, everything, it just feels very nice, very coherent, and just in general just beautiful. So not much else to say about this. Again, at this point you start seeing recurring mobs with the render boys and all that, so not many other specific mobs in general, but all in all, I mean, there's the ISO guys, the eye laser guys with the zombies on top of with the guardian on their head, but yeah, other than that, again, this area looks phenomenal. Very good lead up to Intersection 4 to kind of give you a taste of more challenging things are gonna come, so you better prepare your butt because things are about to get a bit difficult. And then you come down here, another color shift. From the bluish, blue mushroom things, you get to the more reddish, more purplish looking mushrooms, and you still have one of these here and there dotted around. This was a really mean trap, but also kind of cool in the same time that you want to grab the chest, but then there's a metric crap ton of just skeletons being mean in there, chilling in the cobweb, shooting to the lava fall. It's very neat. More resources you can collect, also very cool. Probably the least special, I'd say, bonus area is Crystal Carbon Caverns. It's just small cave, resources, go through it, emerald, and then that's it. There's not much else to talk about here, to be fair. Nothing really fancy, nothing really challenging, just a cool little resource pocket cave that also happens to have an emerald in it and a spell. So that's pretty much about that. I do wonder, is this also gonna be trapped? Because I saw this cake and I was like, no way this is not gonna be trapped. Oh, it's trapped if you wanna check under it. Wow. Render being the person to expect subvert expectations. Expect subvertations, that's a new one. Marcian, good job on that one. To subvert expectations, because you'd be like, oh, I remember that trap previously. If you ate the cake, it explodified it. So I'm gonna outsmart render, see, and I'm gonna dig under it, see if it's trapped. But when you dig under it, and this happens. So it's very cool that render switches up what kind of traps he uses. Also very neat. Special shout out to this loot chest here that had all the greenery inside. Very cool that render just gave that out for no reason at all, other than people who want to decorate their base, and then they can. So, but at first I thought it's also gonna be trapped, but that's just because I'm very spooked about anything and everything being trapped. But yeah. So yeah, where do we start? Let's talk about the big elephant in the room, the Great Web, and how I think this is the worst area in the entire map, honestly. And that's not because it's not designed well, I guess, but it's just because I absolutely despise spider areas. For some reason, this beginning part I had so much trouble with, and that's probably because the cobwebs on the ground and then these stupid creeper spiders around. And the fact that I'm something I wasn't really fond of in general is the whole mechanic, which apparently after some people, I think someone said in the comment section of the videos on this, is that how this worked is that if you go to a specific disc box first, then you're gonna get something else. So yeah, even though this is where I found the disc in the end, if I were to come here first, I would have still found a paper in it that it's not in this one. I don't know, making fake objectives, I don't think that's a very, I wouldn't say very cool thing, but to put it in a mean way, it wasn't very cash money we rendered for doing that. It's a neat idea in general, but I don't think long term it's very good in general. I don't know, I'm just not a big fan. Like, objective is that one thing that you always know it's not gonna be trapped, it's not gonna be something that the map maker will mess with and mess about. It's the one thing that's an always like golden standard of a CTM map. You go to a dangerous area, once you get to the rule box, the disc box, whatever objective you have, you get to it and that thing will always be there. Changing that and making it so that it's not and it's a fake one, and then having that, I don't think it's very good. I mean, it's a neat little idea, but I don't think it's very good in general, because again, for the reasons I just said about the objective box being the one secret thing that is always there and will always, mostly unless you're very mean, will not be trapped. Having this is just like a little jab at people, pretty much. I didn't even, have we been here before? Oh yeah, we have been. I'm just losing my mind. But yeah, honestly, the main reason why I disliked this wasn't because of the fake record boxes. It was mostly to do with it being a spider area and me just hating spider areas in general. The village bit here I did enjoy, where there weren't many spiders and many cobwebs just everywhere in my face. But the other parts of it, I assume this is the system that sets it up, that it's randomized each time you open one of those chests. But the other cave areas, not so much, with all the cobwebs and all the crap around. So sorry render, but this one was not very much it. Chief unfortunately did not like this area that much altogether. So yeah, but enough bitching about that area. Let's go look at the other two of intersection. I'll drift out from there real quick. Let's have a look at the probably one of the coolest and neatest looking areas of this entire map. Domes of Doom, or not Domes of Doom, sorry, what's it called? Well, it's called Domes of Doom, yeah, Dome Sweet Dome, which I still think would have been a better name for this. In all, very cool idea. Not very difficult unless you get knocked down and something. Like, I almost died here when I got knocked down and I managed to random one of these ribbons or whatever you wanna call these things. But just in aesthetic wise, it's probably the coolest and uniquest looking area of the entire map, honestly. Love how there's a whole bunch of different domes that you made, and all of them having a different flavor. Where's that one? Where's the joke, the punchline? Different flavor. Like this one here. And I kind of said I never went around here, because again, once we found the emerald in a different one, there was not much reason to go down here. But just this whole section, in and of itself, this whole maze looking thing that you go up at the top, is extremely cool looking. I'm just gonna assume that there's just loot around here. Yeah, debris blocks, diamond blocks, probably a couple of chests here and there maybe. More debris, more diamond blocks. Yeah, I mean, not much to say about this. This just looks cool in general, but once you know that the hidden emerald isn't here, then it kind of loses its purpose, because then you've got no real reason to come down here unless you're missing out on some loot. But you walk around here has just as much of a chance of you actually losing all the current equipment you have than to get a couple of blocks of diamonds and a couple debris blocks, I guess. So, but gotta say, like, just this, how it looks aesthetically, this is very eye pleasing and very, very cool looking. So yeah, but all in all, very neat area. Do love it quite a bit. Probably third favorite on the list, honestly. And then let's talk about this insanity that this thing is. Nova Arcana, or aka Render's Cursed Bouncy Castle, or whatever. Massive inventory wipe or festival vibes from this, but again, like I said in the video itself, just inventory wipe on steroids and turn up like about 7,000 notches. But again, the fact that it wasn't void down here, but just lava, that you could, technically speaking, avoid. I like how there's a crystal here as well, that you can avoid, and even if you do fall down, you still are able to save yourself, like I did, because I fell down because I'm retarded. But if you wanna see that, if you haven't, go check the finale out, even though the audio is decent, but it's still a pretty decent episode, I'd say. Shameless plug, over. But yeah, I did love the fact how there were different ways of render messing about. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, tiny bridge that you have to cross, and then ooh, you might be knocked off by a skeleton or a blaze or a ghost or something, or there's poopiness, yay. No, there's like very unique ideas with like the whole potions flying around. It felt like it was like a game show like Wipeout, or it felt like Tomb Raider when you like go into temples and then there's the poison darts shooting out from the one, you have to avoid them. This thing was very mean and very evil because I did not even see this, and it just kind of almost, I wouldn't say it would have killed me, but I got a good scare out of that, I would say. And then just the towers with the supercharged creepers, you having to be very careful, because if one blows up, then probably the entire tower is gonna go kablooski, so you have to be careful of that. And then once you get up to the top, then there's another one of these things here, because Render just can't seem to get enough of these stair traps. There's one at the beginning as well. Once you get up here, then there's more little platforming sections that you have to go through. The sound effects though, can we just talk about the entire aesthetic of this area and how nice the sounds are like? Hang on. Just listen to it. It's very cool, very terrifying, very neat, and just all around gives a very nice aesthetic and feel to this entire, like something is very scary, something very big is here that you need to be afraid of. Especially love the little Geiger meter sound effects to it as well. And then you get to the main part of it, and you have to go around the bouncy castle of doom, to go up the towers, get rid of these things, little potion spawners that yeet potions across each other just to be a nuisance. And then you have these 3 little pathways of different challenging areas of like things you have to go around. There was one potion spawner bit here. I like this little thing, little shootout hole that they had. They can yeet out their tridents. And then on the opposite side it was more like parkour based, I guess you could say. We actually have to jump around this through bridging and all that. That was also pretty fun. And then you had the middle one on this side, which was the main fighting one, I guess. This trap, it's so simple and so stupid, but it's so effective, because I remember I fell for this, and afterwards I was like, I'm so pissed at myself that I fell for that. Like, sure, I ran up the stairs and I didn't get like that much cut off by it that I started fighting it, because if they blew up, then I probably would have taken a big dip down below. But just the fact that this silly little thing is here and it works, and people fell for it. At least I fell for it. I don't know how many other people fell for that, but I definitely did. It's very cool. And then you get to here, and then once you break all of them, the shulker box appears and the disc is inside. So yeah, one more thing before we call it here. Let's see if we can find the final area, or the unimplemented area too, and then talk about that a bit. Which I think I went this way, question mark. I think I did, didn't I? I think it's somewhere this direction. Again, they recorded it in the Discord, but again, I still couldn't be arsed to go up there and find the coordinates itself. We just fly on a bit and see if we can find it again. I think I went this way. Wait, what the hell is this? Oh my god, there's another taco. Dude, Render, what the hell is this? Where is the UN tacos? It's just a piece of floating glowstone. It's very weird. This is very, very strange. This feels very alien, just out of place. I could go for a taco after seeing all these tacos, but where the hell is the castle then? I thought it was this way somewhere, wasn't it? Oh no. Okay, we've reached the cave wall here. This is the end of it. Oh no, I've got lost, haven't I? I'm glad we found that taco though. That was a nice little Easter egg, I suppose. I'll try and find that thing and I'll come back once I found the Adamantium Fortress or Citadel. So hold tight, I'll be back soon. Oh, found it. Here it is. It went a completely different direction, but at least we found the taco. So I'm kind of happy that we found that taco. That was a neat little Easter egg. Right, so we can just fly in here. I don't know what I'm doing here. There you go. Right, so Adamantium Citadel. Very fun area, surprisingly. Like, I thought when I heard it's an unlimited area, I was like, probably it's either A, not gonna be completed, or B, unbalanced, or C, just not fun. But surprisingly, this was a very fun area. At least I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I didn't even check this itself. But there's a lot of stuff around here in general. I haven't even got up to the upstairs of this. I just went down and I got the objective from here, which was not that down. Here, yeah, which was a dragon egg. But in general, like, I used a lot of potions. Shame. But yeah, all in all, this feels like a very old school-esque CTM area, final area. Just big, huge castle. Go through it, bunch of mobs, go kill everything, you get the loot, and that's it. Nothing fancy, nothing over the top, no weird mechanics, nothing that makes Enderman, that whole flame box, walk towards it and then aggressively blow up in your face for no apparent reason. None of that. Just simple, big fortress, lot of mobs. There you go. Point in one direction, go in there, kill them all, get them, get the disc, get the objective, and then you're done. And it works. It just works, honestly, because I mean, just look at this. Look at our spawners here. This is 100% what a final area should feel like. Very challenging and fun just to slay about 1,000 gajillion mobs just in general. And this is exactly what this was. So I'd be kind of curious to see as to why Render didn't implement this in the final map. Even as like, I don't know, like maybe an extra objective could have made it feel like one extra disc, I don't know. Actually can't remember how many discs were in the map, to be fair, but yeah. But even then, like, it feels kind of sad that it's just kind of there, and unless you just specifically start flying around like I am now in Spectator, or you've seen it on the CTMC, or for some reason you've only heard of this from watching my playthrough, which if you're one of those people, then God bless you, what the hell are you doing here? But yeah. But even then, it's kind of sad that it's just kind of there, and Render clearly put effort into it and stuff, and then for some reason he thought it's not going to be good enough for the entire course of the map. Maybe he didn't feel like it was on par with different areas, which I wouldn't say that's the case, because I think it's on par with it, honestly. But in any case, yeah, that's that. Let me just take the teleport back, and then we'll end off at the monument, I suppose. So whoop. Can we like walk forward, please? Thank you. Good lord. So yeah, let me open the shortcut. Boop. Thank you for the button. Right, so actually let me keep staying creative. So all in all, I'd say very fun map in general, even with the weird mechanic of the soul and all that. I'd still think it was a great map. I still stand by the fact that I think this is one of Render's best maps, if not the best one, honestly. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed my ramblings about a CTM map for about probably an hour and a half-ish. I'd say probably around that much. And if by any chance you're watching this Render, then let me just say, good job, man. Phenomenal map. Had a lot of fun playing it, and can't wait to see what you have up in store for us for the next one. So yeah, anyone else who've made it this far, even if just by zooming through certain sections of it or whatever, what I might do is I might add the little timestamp thing on YouTube that you can go for a specific area. I don't know yet, I might not do that, whatever. You guys will probably already know if I did that or not, but if you watched it all the way through, then God bless you, you're an amazing human being. Dropping a like or maybe even subscribing if you're feeling generous is much appreciated. Plus it's free, so if you enjoy what you see here, might as well do so. Next up, we're gonna start playing Darklands 1 Odyssey by Kuni. So you guys better strap yourself in for that one, because that is gonna be a fancy adventure as well, just as this one. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the series, hope you guys have enjoyed the review, and until next time, take care, and I'll catch you all then. Bye!